Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Thank you for being here today. I thought today that there's a couple things we're going to take a look at. I'm going to do a couple quick questions with my pendulum, and then we'll see what unfolds from there. Okay, so first of all, thank you very, very much to all of my new subscribers. I'm delighted you're here. And of course, to my established ones, I adore you. For those of you who follow Insights, on Tuesday, there was a video that went out about programming your pendulum, and there's going to be another one coming out on Thursday, but both the one on Tuesday and the one on Thursday are going to be just sort of revisiting previous videos that I did, that I think that it's good to sort of have a bit of a refresher course, because of course, as I get more and more subscribers to the Insights channel, and thank you very much, there's a lot of stuff that got missed. I just have a lot of stuff going on in my world right now, and this affords me a little bit of a break. It gives me some space to deal with some other issues. So I thank you for your patience. Okay, so I just have to vent a minute. I just have to vent. So yesterday, I'm recording this, by the way, on Tuesday afternoon. You're going to see it on July 29th. So yesterday I am watching John Lewis's funeral. I didn't get to see all of it, but I saw a few bits of it. And when Nancy Pelosi played that segment of that address that he gave at that university, and people could hear him in his own words saying things that are, brilliantly profound and insightful. And then at the end of it, everybody stood up and was clapping. Okay? I don't know if any of you noticed, but I did, because it just irritated me. Mitch MCConnell. This is how he was clapping. I was appalled. If you're going to clap like that, don't bother. And you know what? I'm not even going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say maybe his hand was sore, because, I'm just not. So I have my handy dandy pendulum. So you know what, now that I vented, thank you. Let's start with him, shall we? So from what I understand, both Mitch MCConnell and Lindsey Graham are really fighting now to hang on to their Senate seats. They have not been sort of overtaken yet by the Democrat who is challenging them. But again, there's 99 days or 98 days left to go. So that's a really long time for more people to sort of get on board with trying to get these two guys out of office. So I want to start there. So I always get the same answer, but for new viewers, or for those of you who maybe are looking for a little bit of reassurance, we're going to do this again. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, back and forth means my pendulum is ready to talk to me. Circle like that is a no, and show me yes, and yes is back and forth. Okay, let's start with Mitch. Is Mitch MCConnell going to be re-elected to the Senate as a result of the November 2020 election? Is Mitch MCConnell going to retain his Senate seat? That is a really powerful no. So yeah, let's go with that, shall we? Is Kentucky going to turn purple or blue? Let me say it that way. Purple or blue for Kentucky. Is that likely to happen? That's a really strong yes. Okay. Let's take a look at Lindsey Graham. Is Lindsey Graham going to be reelected as a result of the 2020 election? That's also a no. Okay. I've gotten a couple of requests, so let's ask this one. Jay Inslee of Washington State is apparently there's a great many Republican contenders sort of trying to go after him. So I want to know if Jay is going to retain His seat. That's a yes. Okay, let's ask it another way. Is he going to be reelected? And that's a really strong yes. If I'm not mistaken, he is the governor. Washington State. Is Washington State going to remain blue? And again, a really, really strong yes. Okay, couple more questions just for reassurance more than anything else. In January of 2021, on Inauguration Day, is Joe Biden going to assume the office of President of the United States? Again, super, super strong yes. All right. Is Kamala, however you say it, Harris, is she still a serious contender for vice president? And that is also a really strong yes. Okay. Is Florida going blue? Yes. North Carolina going blue? Yes. South Carolina, is it going to go blue? Yes. Are the Republicans going to lose their stranglehold on Texas? Yes. Is Donald Trump going to lose the 2020 election? Yes. Is any claim he makes about the results being fraudulent going to carry any weight? Is anybody actually going to take them seriously? No. Is he even going to be in the White House on Inauguration Day to refuse to leave? Is he going to be in the White House on Inauguration Day? He is not. He's such a sore loser, you know. I can't imagine him staying there and actually with some dignity and decorum sort of passing, I don't know, the baton of power. He's incapable. Bill Barr, just because I was watching him for a couple of minutes, looked like he was kind of getting raked over the coals a wee bit. Is Bill Barr going to end up actually being disbarred as a result of his behavior as Attorney General? He surely is. Yep, he surely is. Okay, so I'm going to get this wrong. Florida, Michigan, Iowa, oh God, what's the other one? Okay, the four blue states, I'm just going to say it this way, the four blue states that broke down the blue wall for Trump, that created that win for Trump, plus Florida. Is that red wall going to hold? Is Trump going to get any of those states? No. Let's one more. And is Joe Biden's health and stamina going to stay strong enough? And is he going to stay healthy enough to get through the election? Yes. Okay, and I just heard them say that one of the few rainbows, if you will, of the coronavirus is that it has caused them to have to sort of campaign very differently, and what they're doing, frankly, is not as exhausting. And so that allows him to really keep his reserves up because, listen, he's got such a big job when he gets into office. He's going to need all of the strength that he can. And that reminds me, speaking of the White House, I've been getting a lot of comments lately about how the White House is going to need to be saged. And I actually think we are going to do a couple of positive energy circles specifically for that purpose as it gets a little bit closer. So you can look forward to that. Okay, I'm sure I've missed a bunch of states that you guys have been asking for, but keep asking. I write them down and sometimes even manage to remember where I put the paper. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you very much, Pendulum. I hope you enjoyed that. I want to take a look at just sort of a general kind of progression, if you will. I want to take maybe a look at what the country is going to experience between the November election and the January inauguration. What is that experience going to look like? Come on down, I have a question. USA, November, January, USA, November, January, USA, November, January. Okay, let's start with the Wheel of Fortune is changing. So the fortunes of the United States are going to improve for the better. And interestingly, these sort of winged creatures, if you will, in all four corners are really, really standing out to me. So it sort of feels as if there really is going to be support coming from sort of outside of the United States once the election is done to do what can be done to sort of almost I guess this isn't the right phraseology, but sort of set Biden up for an easier transition from outside of the United States. So whether that is allies reaching out to him and saying, what can we do? How do we support you? How can we help? But it looks like there's going to be a fair bit of support. The world is exhausted. Okay, the world is absolutely exhausted. He has so destroyed anything, any standing, any respect, anything the country had. Not only because he's an idiot and he's ignorant and he's rude, but because he's killing off Americans by the hundreds of thousands, for God's sakes. It's ridiculous. And so people the world over really are done with him because honestly, it is creating an uncertainty going forward for everybody globally because what was supposed to be harnessed and under control is so not under control. And it appears as if the United States is going to be really continuing to be battling the coronavirus in a rather significant way as we continue through summer and into fall. It really doesn't feel as if you guys honestly are going to catch much of a break, and I am sorry to have to tell you that. Here we have the Six of Wands talking about riding to victory, and this is not Trump riding to victory, okay? Who rides to victory is the one that creates the change of good fortune coming towards you. So this is interesting, this little page of swords, because it feels as if when Trump tries to, in his juvenile and childish way, when he tries to literally ignore, look away from the rule of law, it's not going to work for him. So whatever stunts he tries, do not panic, do not get overwrought. Ultimately, he has no power. You must remember that. Don't give him the power of your emotions leading up to the election. And beyond that, don't give him your energy in terms of him leaving or not leaving the White House. There's a lot of talk about it right now, but a lot of it is just talk. They have to fill up those TV hours sometimes. You can't take everything they're saying as if it is, solid gold truth, because it's speculation. Now, this is interesting because, as you know, this is my card that is going to that is representing the incoming vice president. So that's looking as if she is going to be able to kind of get kick-started or jump-started on what it is that she needs to, she's going to have some things that are sort of squarely going to be put on her plate. And it feels like she is very quickly going to be able to start setting in place protocols, situations, whatever it is, people, right, resources, to start really, really dealing with a lot of the sort of outstanding stuff that's going on, literally inauguration day forward. It literally, this is saying they are going to hit the road running. They are not going to be thinking about it. Unlike Trump, they actually know they have to hire people. And you can bet right now, that vetting, those lists, those conversations are already taking place. So once Biden wins, they are just going to really start plowing ahead and getting people in place, getting stuff sorted out so that they can literally, as I said, hit the ground running. So there are going to be some people who are still foolishly going to try to support Trump. And I'm talking about people in the administration, people in the White House. And so there might be a little bit of testiness or defensiveness or just frankly being unhelpful. As that actual transition starts to take place from the Republicans. Okay, they're not going to be as forthcoming and as helpful as every single other outgoing administration has been probably in the history of your country. But again, they really are going to be powerless, and it does not feel as if they are going to be able to really shore him up in any way. Anything they do, any game they play, it's like penny ante stuff. You've got to keep in mind that the people who are running around the White House right now with titles, the vast majority of them do not know what the hell they were doing. They don't know, they're not politically savvy, they have no political experience, but they're running around there preening with their titles. So they're not going to be able to actually impact in any serious way. And the Three of Swords is showing up. And this is talking about those people in the administration who, some of them still foolishly believe he's going to win. Trust me, by the time you get to 10, 15, 21, 30 days away from the election, they know he's not going to win by then. But what they're going to discover is that there is not quite the demand for their skills and talents as they hoped, had as they anticipated, even as they expected. A lot of those people are really, really going to find themselves in a position where they are not going to be well received sort of in the real world or in the outside of the administration world. A lot of strength is going to move through. The American people are literally going to feel vindicated. They are going to literally feel their strength, their focus flooding back to them as they really start to recognize that there is going to be really powerful change taking place, and they are going to be absolutely behind them. Behind that change. So literally, again, between December and January, you can anticipate an actual strengthening not only of the American people, but a strengthening of the support coming in, the strengthening of the government's reputation. It's not going to snap back. Don't expect that. But there is going to be a lot of open hands extended to do what can be done, again, from outside of the country to help strengthen Biden's position and to work with that administration as much as they can to, again, kind of create like a new beginning, like a new start, right? Somewhere between the election and the inauguration, there's going to be more and more information that comes out about Trump and his finances, Trump and some of the communications that he was involved in, some of the kind of burdens that he was placing on other agencies. You're going to hear more stuff coming out of the Justice Department, the FBI, etc. Now, they're not going to blatantly, flagrantly go against Trump because, you do have that kind of one president at a time thing down there. But for sure, there's going to be a lot more communication and some really big, interesting information coming out about Trump's finances. I'm wondering if this could actually be part of what propels him to leave the White House before the inauguration. He's going to want to get somewhere where he's not going to be confronted by reporters, and he's going to find a way to, make it seem like he's a winner, and he's not. He's going to be a loser. But really, that's what Trump has been his entire life. So let's not get wrapped up in thinking he's some kind of a magician or he's some kind of unbelievable success story. He's not. As his sister said, and I'm paraphrasing what was said in the Mary Trump book, his sister said the only thing that he has succeeded at is bankruptcies. That's from his family. A lot of assessing. There's going to be a lot of assessing going on. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on to actually start to figure out exactly how bad some of this stuff is. And it also feels very much like the Biden government is they're going to actually start taking some really serious looks at exactly who they feel they may actually need to go after to set a standard or to put those guardrails back in place. So is it possible that they're going to impeach or somehow investigate Barr, for example, to the point where he is going to end up being disbarred? It could very well happen. They're not the Trump administration, there is not a way for them to leave in any sort of a role that appears victorious. It's absolutely not going to happen. More and more people are going to continue to jump ship. And let me tell you, once the election results are actually in, and my energetically, I'm being told, anticipate almost like 7, maybe as long as 10 days for the final results to be in. But again, it feels as if within the first couple of days, there's going to be some real clarity about who's ahead and how much they're ahead. And I mean, let's face it, once you get sort of that eastern part of the states and those results start coming in, that's really going to set the tone for the rest of the country. And I suspect along the way, there's going to be a couple of interesting surprises in terms of states that really moved away from Trump and or, the Republican Party. So there's going to be more and more people kind of running away between November and January. And so, they're not going to be able to walk away, honestly, I almost want to say with any dignity intact. And the same goes, frankly, for some of those Republicans who are going to lose their election come November. There are also some of those who are going to find themselves having a whole lot of explaining to do. And sometimes it almost feels as if some of that explaining may very well not happen through some sort of a hearing. It feels more like they're going to have to be explaining themselves to a court. So that could be interesting. Okay, yeah. So, again, I want you to prepare yourself for the fact that kind of the recovery is not going to be as fast as you think. I don't want people who are desperate for change to think that, well, as soon as we elect Biden and he, swears that oath, the country is just going to snap back. It's not. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of people pulling together. And I think maybe one of the most important things that I want people to start thinking about is 4 years is not a very long time. And so there's going to be a need for people to sort of manage their expectations. The things that need to be done really fast, like healthcare and getting that virus under control, those are going to get done fast. But some of the other stuff, some of the things that need to be corrected and reviewed, and that's going to take a little bit of time. So, 2 years from now, when there's a midterm, it is going to be vitally important that the midterms support Biden and not put him in a position like Obama was at the end in his last term, where the last 2 years he was absolutely, hamstrung and he could do nothing. That is the last thing that you want to have happen to Biden, because you want his full 4 years to be super productive and get a lot of stuff done. And as I said before many, many times, I really feel as if whoever the vice president is really almost going to just step into the presidency. Seriously? 12 years, 16 years, that's how long the Democrats really need to be in a super powerful position going forward to not only correct all the crap that Trump did, but frankly, to correct all the crap that a whole bunch of Republicans did. Okay? So it is a process. Do not expect this snap, because if he loses support, if Biden loses support, and people start pulling away from him because they feel as if he's not doing it fast enough, it's really going to not be a good thing. It's going to, again, throw the United States into a situation where they really have to kind of review what their priorities are. So this is something I know. This is what I know. I know that, and every one of you will be able to relate to this in your own lives. When a decision is made, when we make a decision, and we're determined, and that's what we're going to do. But it's a big decision. It's an important one, and more importantly, it's one that perhaps is a decision based on the fact that maybe our previous actions were not, in our highest interest. I'll say it that way. The universe has this really crazy way of circling back around, and it's almost as if it drops something in your lap, as if to say, are you sure? Are you really, really, really sure? It's kind of like, the boyfriend who finally you get rid of because he's just not what you want. And then you're sure about it, and you start healing, and you're doing better, and you're ready to sort of go back out into the world again, and the boyfriend comes back. That's not because the universe is trying to tell you he deserves a second chance. It's because the universe is saying, are you sure? Don't let that happen. When will that be? In 2022. For those of you who have got activated and energized, you got to stay that way. You got to stay that way. Okay? Thank you so much for all of the support. I will be back on Friday, and I think on Friday we're going to be taking a look at Trump in the month of August, because this certainly has not been any sort of a summer hiatus, and so I think that's what we're going to look at on Friday. So thank you ever so much. Until next time, take care. Be well. Bye-bye.